In 1937, in Margate, England, one of the strongest chess tournaments of the era was hosted, and a 21-year-old Estonian master on the rise, Paul Keres, talented absolutely, but still making his name at the highest level, faced off against Alexander Alekhine, the fourth world chess champion, and the most feared attacking player of his generation. And this game and its moves would ultimately make Keres famous. Or it should have. The game begins with pawn to e4, where Alekhine responds with pawn to e5, and already we're in king's pawn territory, the oldest, most analyzed opening in chess, one both players know intimately. Knight to f3, knight to c6. Classical, nothing surprising yet. Both players are feeling each other out, seeing who's going to show their hand first. Here, white follows with bishop b5, bringing us into the Spanish game, and Alekhine answers with a6, choosing the Morphy defense. After bishop a4, retreating the bishop while maintaining pressure on the knight on c6, Alekhine plays d6, reinforcing the center. And now, Keres introduces something very interesting, c4. This is Keres's own variation of the Spanish game. The idea is to clamp down on the queen side, especially the b5 square, and prevent black from comfortably expanding with pawn b5 later on. This line is not often played, and that's important to note. Even at the top level, this was already considered an uncommon approach. But Keres knew it inside and out, and he was betting that Alekhine might not be as familiar with the specifics. The game continues with bishop d7, then knight c3, and Alekhine responds with g6, clearly intending to fianchetto his bishop to g7. Next comes d4, and Alekhine plays bishop g7, developing his bishop as planned. Both sides continue developing naturally, and then we reach bishop e3, knight f6. Now Keres decides to clarify the center with d takes e5, and Alekhine responds, recapturing. At this point, Keres plays a move that is actually very annoying for Alekhine, bishop c5. This bishop on c5 becomes a real problem. Because of it, Alekhine cannot castle comfortably. The bishop interferes with black's coordination and keeps the king stuck in the center. Alekhine responds with knight h5, trying to deal with the pressure in a practical way. Keres immediately jumps in with knight d5, and this knight finds an excellent outpost. It's perfectly centralized and extremely annoying for black. At this moment, it's fair to ask, can we already say that Paul Keres has won the opening battle against Alexander Alekhine? Honestly, yes. Already, white enjoys the superior position. Alekhine is not giving up that fast though, and fights back with knight f4, challenging and trying to generate counterplay. Keres, on the other hand, calmly responds with knight takes f4, and after e takes f4, the structure changes, but Keres is completely comfortable with it. Now comes a very confident decision by Keres, e5. He is willingly sacrificing a pawn in order to open lines and increase the pressure. This is fearless, ambitious play, especially against the reigning world champion. Alekhine answers with g5. He could not capture on e5 because of ideas like queen e2, which would have made black's position very unpleasant. So instead, he pushes the pawn, trying to chase pieces and hold things together. After this, Keres plays queen d5, increasing the pressure once again. Alekhine responds with bishop f8, fighting desperately to protect the diagonal and keep castling hopes alive. Bishop takes on f8, and then rook takes on f8. Why not king takes? Well, Alekhine didn't want to lose the castling rights perhaps, but this was wishful thinking in this position. After rook takes, the king looks awkward, it looks stuck, and especially after castling queenside by Keres, we can easily say that he's doing excellent. His king is safe, the rooks are connected, and everything is flowing naturally for white. Meanwhile, black is cramped, under pressure, and struggling to untangle.
Alekhine plays queen e7, desperately hoping to finally castle, but Keres doesn't allow it easily. He plays bishop takes c6, eliminating an important defender. Only now does Alekhine get the chance to castle, but only if Keres allows it. After that, Keres calmly plays queen d3. Alekhine responds with bishop d7, trying to close the file and finally prepare to castle. But here, Keres played a very nice move. His confident play continues against the world chess champion. He played knight takes on g5. What a move! And we have castle queenside from Alekhine. He finally castles, but this is like a punch in the face. White's pieces are already swarming, and black's castling into danger, not into safety. Now here's the thing, if queen takes knight, trying to win back material, then queen takes on d7 is checkmate. The queen gets deflected and it's over, so that doesn't work. Okay, so Alekhine castled, but the damage is already done. Keres continues calmly with knight f3, reinforcing his position. Alekhine plays f6, trying to defend the h-pawn and open the queen's escape route. Keres responds with e takes f6, and after rook takes f6, Alekhine occupies the open file, but it's simply not enough. Now comes rook e1, bringing another rook into the attack. Alekhine, completely fixated on material, plays queen b4. He doesn't want to lose the c4 pawn without getting something in return. His idea is clear: don't touch my h-pawn or I'll capture your c4 pawn with check. But this move, queen b4, turns out to be an epic blunder. It is now white to play and win. But before revealing the winning move, it's worth mentioning that rook to e6 could also have been considered. But Alekhine's queen move was simply too slow and too greedy, and Paul Keres does not miss his chance. He plays queen d7 check, and Alekhine, clearly beaten, resigns on the spot. The fourth official world chess champion lays down his arms. If the game were to continue, the idea is simple. Rook takes queen, rook recaptures, and mate follows shortly after. Black has no defense. This stands as one of the worst defeats in Alexander Alekhine's glorious chess career, and it came at the hands of Paul Keres. In fact, Keres went on to win this particular tournament, coming in first ahead of everyone else. However, Paul Keres never became universally famous in the way his talent seemed to demand, largely because history kept placing him one step behind circumstance. He came of age during the absolute dominance of monsters like Alekhine, Botvinnik, and later Smyslov and Tal, repeatedly finishing just short of a world championship match, while World War II interrupted his best years and reshaped the chess world around him. Add to that his quiet, gentlemanly personality, his lack of self-promotion, and the brutal Soviet tournament system that often used him as a gatekeeper rather than a chosen champion, and you get a player revered by grandmasters and historians, yet never crowned. Remembered not as a world champion, but as the eternal second, a title that quietly buried how truly great he was. If you got value from this video, please support this channel by liking the video and subscribing, as I'll be covering even more games like this in the future. Thank you for doing that, and I'll see you in the next one.